Gypsy Rose was never abused by her mother.
Blanchard's case. So the ultimate ending of the plea was Mr. Patterson reduced the charge to murder in the second degree, and ultimately the agreement was for a 10-year sentence. Well, I think all of us involved are it's relief. At the very beginning of this, there was the question of the death penalty on the table, and just uncovering the things that we uncovered throughout this case. Obviously, the anxiety level continued to rise, knowing that she faced life without parole, and ultimately the sentence that we agreed upon is a testament to the amount of abuse that we uncovered that her mother was heaping upon her. After going through close to 15 years worth of medical records, speaking to friends and neighbors, we were able to uncover essentially Gypsy's mother was holding her a prisoner. Her mother did not allow her to spend any time with her mother. When they went to the doctor, did all the talking. I uncovered only, I believe, 2 or 3 instances where Gypsy herself actually spoke to the doctor. All of the other records, thousands of pages, indicate her mother says X. And even in one particular instance, the doctor made a notation that when she was speaking about Gypsy's mental handicaps, the doctor even mentioned that her mother placed her hands over Gypsy's ears so as not to upset her. And so it became abundantly clear as we went through more and more and more of the records that Gypsy's mom was abusing her physically, medically, giving her medication she didn't need, having her go through procedures that she didn't need, to the point where most of Gypsy's teeth are not even hers because of the medication that her mom was giving her that she had no condition for.
Claims of abuse to Gypsy from her mother, D.D. Blanchard. Number 1. D.D. had all of Gypsy's teeth pulled for absolutely no reason. Right, because as we can see here, your teeth were perfectly healthy. Could it be you rotted your teeth out with all the Pediasure and Pepsi you drank? Also drinking the Pediasure from a baby bottle?
Listen and we don't judge. You're first.
Okay, so I'm first. So, I used a baby bottle until I was an adult.
We all have trauma.
Claim number 2. D.D. forced Gypsy to always be in a wheelchair. From the Freedom of Information Act paperwork from Greene County Courts. Page 65. Further, in a video dated May 26, 2014, Gypsy shows Nicholas how she can stand and walk. She explains that when she was 6 years old, she went into the hospital, and that during surgery the doctors said she had a seizure and was paralyzed. They didn't know if it was only temporary. She started getting feeling and tingling in her legs. She was young and kept it to herself. She kept it from her mom because she was afraid her mom would stop loving her. So she kept it to herself until 2011 when she rebelled and ran away from home. She said explaining to their friends that she could walk would be too hard. She says she would like for people to know the truth, but she would lose a lot of friends. If this is true, what Gypsy told Nick, not only did Gypsy keep herself in the wheelchair, but she also needed her seizure medication, which Mike Stanfield was saying wasn't necessary. Claim number 3. D.D. shaved Gypsy's head to fake cancer, but told Gypsy she really had cancer. I don't think Gypsy ever believed she had cancer. By faking the diagnosis, Gypsy was getting trips to Disney World from the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Also trips to Universal Studios and Cape Cod from other charities that believed Gypsy didn't have long to live. Gypsy learned to be a very good liar from her mother, she said herself. People believed the con, the fraud, and felt sorry for them and gave them free things. Claim number 4. D.D. gave Gypsy unnecessary medications. From the Freedom of Information Act court records. Page 65. In her testimony, Gypsy claimed that it wasn't until she was 19 years old that she started to piece together that she was not actually sick. She further testified that she did not understand how healthy she was until after her arrest. Counsel failed to elicit evidence readily available that was contrary to this assertion, and that would further defense counsel's theory of the case that Nicholas was particularly vulnerable to her manipulation because of his autism spectrum disorder. Specifically, evidence was available to counsel that when Gypsy left Missouri for Wisconsin, she took only pain medication with her and no other prescription medications. Then, as stated previously, Gypsy says she had a seizure and couldn't walk, so if she had seizure medications, they were necessary. The medicine closet at Gypsy's home was filled with many over-the-counter medications, as well as medications for DD, not Gypsy. There was a medicine for seizures that DD wrote "Shaky Baby" on and a lot of cold and cough medications. Claim number 5. DD forced Gypsy to use a feeding tube she didn't need. Remember, Gypsy was diagnosed with the 1q21.1 microdeletion. Within all the symptoms listed and problems associated with this disorder, feeding is one of them. Among 5 unique members, all have had feeding difficulties. These have included sucking weakly at breast or bottle, bringing feeds back, lack of appetite, choking on lumps, failing to chew, gastroesophageal reflux, delayed gastric emptying, uncoordinated swallowing, and tongue thrusting. I don't think I have to convince anyone about Gypsy's tongue thrusting. While needing a feeding tube isn't one of the hallmark features of a 1q21.1 microdeletion, some affected individuals may experience issues, such as severe hypotonia, low muscle tone, swallowing difficulties, or significant developmental delays that could make oral feeding challenging. In those cases, a feeding tube might be considered to ensure proper nutrition. Claim number 6. Gypsy was chained to a bed for 2 weeks and had to pee in a bucket. The messages Gypsy wrote to her friend Alea in 2014. I also got rebaptized because I wanted to be saved after my little acting out in 2011. So I wear my purity ring as a symbol of my faith to God. Did you notice Gypsy didn't ever mention that after her little acting out in 2011, her mother chained her to a bed for 2 weeks? Her mother smashed her computer and smashed her phone? Did she ever once ask Alea for help to get away from her mother? Not once. Instead, she told Alea that she was doing great. Anyways, my health has been stable. They found out I have a chromosome deletion. That's why all the medical issues. This was one of many chances that Gypsy had to ask for help, but she didn't. She said she was on many different social media platforms and her mother didn't know about any of them. Why didn't she ask anyone for help to escape her mother's abuse? Because her mother never abused her. Gypsy should be very ashamed at the way she has twisted her story so much that she's made herself to be the victim of the very one she's murdered. Mike Stanfield should be ashamed of diagnosing DD with Munchausen by proxy when she was already deceased. He isn't a doctor and she wasn't alive to be diagnosed. He should lose his license to practice law. So I'm back to my first statement. DD never abused Gypsy. Any medication, treatment, procedure, or surgery Gypsy had was because of her chromosome deletion. They both con people with the cancer story. Gypsy had to know she never had chemotherapy. She had no medications for cancer. She had no doctor for cancer. Tell me what you think in the comments. Was Gypsy abused? Or was her mom doing everything she could to give Gypsy a great life? Was Gypsy a spoiled brat? What do you think? By the way, because of a certain content creator, I have been demonetized for a few months, and I have to do a second appeal to get remonetized at the end of April. In the meantime, if you would like to support this channel, you can become a member, or go to my Linktree and buy me a coffee. Thank you for all your support.